Wow. So hopefully it's the last day of work being done on our kitchen. I really underestimated how stressful and mad this was going to be. Um, Last year we got our attic converted, and it meant that uh, the bedrooms and everything on the top floor were, it was covered in dust. I mean, we had to get our hallway replastered and things like that, or our landing area upstairs replastered. So the mess was incredible. With the kitchen, I thought, we'd empty the kitchen, put all of the stuff into the front room, which we did, and that we'd essentially have the back room near the kitchen to kind of operate from, really. And I expected there to be noise, obviously, from the workmen doing their thing in the kitchen there. And I'd kind of worked out that I wouldn't be able to really base myself much in the back room where my Xbox is and all of those bits and pieces while they're doing their thing. However, the work that needed to be done was more than we'd originally thought. So, for instance, when they started working in the kitchen and looking at the electrics, it turned out that the previous owner of the house had taken a couple of shortcuts. Now, the previous owner of the house was one of these people that I'd say old school, in that must have tried to do everything himself in his house. Like, he built the extension there, he did all the wiring and did all of those bits and pieces. But I think he cut a lot of corners, and not being a professional kitchen builder was why we had essentially a very shit kitchen. I couldn't have done it. It's better than anything I could have built. However, I would never have attempted to build a kitchen if I couldn't do it. So anyway, it meant that because there were problems with the electrics all of last week, there was a mix of different things going on. One of the days, the electric was going on and off. We were trying to work. It was just madness. So just to explain where we're at right now, this is week 2, day 2 of the kitchen being worked on. So if I look back over what happened last week, so Monday they turned up and gutted the kitchen. First thing they did was ripped everything out, tore it all out, dumped it all out in that sort of carport area, which leads into my garage. So I couldn't get to my garage, which is fine. I don't mind, but still. Day 2, there was a load of them. We had electricians here, we had the guy emptying the place out and taking the rubbish away. Day 3, they started working on our doors, so we decided to get new doors throughout the house. And on that day, we had so much going on. Loads of workmen here. There was workmen in the kitchen. We had people working on the doors throughout the house. So even when me and my wife tried to escape upstairs where we were working and things, there was stuff then directly going on behind us. Obviously, with the doors needing to be filed down and things, there was sawdust everywhere. So crazy. Thursday then, the doorman came and finished off what he was doing with the doors. Friday, the wife had to go to work, so it was me left to entertain. But we had this one guy that was working on the floors in the kitchen. And then Saturday, bright and breezy, at about 7:45, they all turned up. A load of plasterers turned up to do the plastering. Generally, I cannot fault the work that these guys have done. They've worked like absolute machines, and the kitchen is going to look mind-blowingly brilliant once it's done. I'm so, even the shell that's out there right now, I'm over the moon with. However, on a personal level, I am so wrecked. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. I'm not really sleeping, and it's because I'm not I just don't like having people in the house. Even when we have someone popping around to do the odd job, like, someone's coming to check the electric or something, or we had someone around years ago to fix the cooker, and even that stressed me so much. So to have people here from essentially, 8:30 in the morning through till 5 o'clock every day, my anxiety's through the roof. I think it's probably tough for them as well. I mean, usually what would happen is, I would go to work, or we would go to work, and the workmen would come to your house, and there wouldn't be anyone in the house, and they'd be doing their thing, and then they'd go. So they got to try and work with the owners floating around as well, and we're trying to be polite, doing the sort of cups of tea and things like that. But this is what we're trying to work with. This is my back room. This is the area that I thought, oh God, what am I doing? This is the area I essentially thought, oh yeah, we'll have loads of space. Then, fridge, freezer had to be moved in here then as well. So, and we're using bottles of water to fill the kettle and things like that, because there's no taps or sinks or anything like that out in the kitchen or anything yet. So, yeah. So, we've been told that it would essentially be done by tomorrow. So today's show tomorrow. I'm hoping what he means by tomorrow is that they'll pretty much finish today, and then they'll sort of mop up the odd jobs then before disappearing early-ish tomorrow. The next stage then is we've got to paint the kitchen, because it's just bare plaster at the moment. So that's all going to need to be painted. And then we've got to paint all of our doors, all of our new doors as well. So we need to get them given a nice gloss coating. At that point, I'm thinking, well, if we're glossing the doors here, that maybe this room, I don't know, maybe that's insane. Maybe I'll just stick to glossing the doors. And then I shall be taking a week off. In terms of, my Dystonia project and that, it's a couple of things happened. So last week, after my update about where we were going with the project and what I was doing, it turned out that my laptop's broken. It's a brand new laptop, so it's really frustrating. But basically what's happened is the lovely crystal clear screen that we had, it's got these lines going across it. And, it kind of gives it the effect of an old school, like, TV from the 1980s, it's not clear. Now, it took a lot of convincing for HP when I was talking to them online. I was sharing photos, having lots of back and forths, and then eventually, they told me I needed to clear everything off the computer, which, again, I pointed back to them, it was clearly a hardware fault, nothing to do with software, but still followed their instructions because it got a bit cheeky with me. And yeah, so now essentially I've just got a laptop with nothing on it. So it's not too bad. I mean, I save everything to the cloud now. I don't save everything to the actual computer itself. So I've not lost anything. But it has slowed things down more than necessary on the project. And with all this going on in the kitchen as well, I'm not really in a great headspace for focusing on it. I did spend a bit of time yesterday putting the final invite to people to share their story. But yeah, I'm going to take a well-earned break from my house, from decorating, from work, and from the project. Week after next. So I've got to get through this week, got to get through next week, and then I can take a break. I have earned or worked extra hours, so I'm hoping that I can take maybe a cheeky day off at some point this week, which would be nice. So, right, well, let's see what today brings. This is how things are looking like now. Gonna be another dusty one. And because they had to take the door off because the floor it's a new floor that comes up slightly higher than the old one, it's meant that this room, just dust keeps coming in here, and yeah. So gonna need a pretty good deep clean once they're all out of here. Right, start the day.